Hi. Have you ever wondered why relationships fail? Especially the good ones where two people seem so right for each other, where they seem to get along so well? Well, I'm Guy Ardito, relationship expert, author, and coach. And today I'm going to talk about the three key reasons why relationships fail, even the good ones, and what you can do to avoid a situation like that yourself. So, the number one reason why relationships fail, well, not number one in importance, but the first one we're going to cover is growing apart. This is where people, one or both partners, start feeling that they're just not as connected. They don't feel like they have as much in common. They're not as interested in spending time with the partner. They're not having as much fun. There just seems to be kind of like a growing wedge, a growing distance. And sometimes it is a question of growing animosity, but a lot of times it's just kind of like a growing indifference, like the spark is dying out. It's kind of like, what did I wake up with? Who did I wake up next to? What's going on here? How did I wind up here? There's just no juice, no energy, no connection. The second reason why relationships fail is a power struggle. This is where one or both partners, again, are putting the focus on themselves. It's all about what they want, getting their needs fulfilled. When there's an argument, it's about being right, defending their position, and it becomes like the me show. And there's a power struggle. A relationship naturally involves two people, right? It's not about just one. And relationships fail when there's a power struggle. Sometimes one partner will go along with it, but after a while, no one can just get beaten down forever, right? No one can just give up everything they want and need forever. So at a certain point, the other partner is going to start digging their heels in and saying enough is enough, and then boom, you wind up with a gigantic clash. And the third reason why relationships fail is crises. And a crisis is any kind of event that's resulting in high stress. And this can be something like moving and taking on a new job, or a death in the family, especially the death of a parent, bringing children into the relationship. Children are fantastic, but if you have them like I do, they can cause a lot of stress. Any kind of financial setback, especially a business failure. These are all examples of things that cause high stress in a relationship. And when we're under stress, we tend not to be our best selves, right? When we're under a lot of stress, we can get short, we can get mean even. Sometimes we pull away, we have to protect ourselves, we feel. And we're just not who we normally are. We're certainly not who our partner expects us to be or needs us to be. And that leads to a dissolution of the bond, a dissolution of the love, dissolution of the trust, a dissolution of the relationship. So the important question, now that you know the three reasons why relationships fail, is what you can do to prevent them. Well, number one is making sure that you stay connected, right? You've got to prioritize each other. You've got to make sure that you're spending time with each other. The time that you're spending has to be time when you're actually present, right? If you're just together, but you're each, fiddling with your phone or iPad or the television or something, then you're not connecting. You have to actually be present. Now, doing things is great, taking a hike together or doing something exciting like taking a ride, like an amusement park or something together, but also just taking that time to maybe give each other a shoulder rub or just sit quietly across from each other and, look into each other's eyes. Just have that quiet bond. You've got to work on it in both ways. So you've got to stay connected, you've got to be present, and you got to do things together. If you want to avoid the power struggle, then you have to accept that by being in a relationship, you are sacrificing me for we. You have to be collaborative. And if you're going to be collaborative, you have to give up the notion that it's your way, right? It's not your way. It's not I'm right, you're wrong, my way, not your way, my needs, not your needs. It's all about what do we both need? What do we both want? How can we work out something that's good for both of us? You gotta have to both have that attitude. And if either one of you, or especially both of you, are at a point where you're missing that, you're not going to be able to have a good relationship. In fact, you're going to be clashing so much in one form or another that guarantee the relationship is going to fall apart. Because at the end of the day, a long-term relationship, especially a marriage, is much more about trust, teamwork, and collaboration than it is about having fun or having a passionate love. It may not be romantic to say, but that's the truth of the matter. A marriage has a mostly practical aspect to it. Everything else is like the icing on the cake. When the practical aspect is gone, because legally you're responsible for what each other does when you're married, then it's an issue. So you've got to make sure that aspect is there. And finally, handling crises. Well, you can't prevent most crises from happening. I mean, you could possibly avert some financial crises by adhering to a budget, a big one or small one, whatever is appropriate for you, but making sure that you're planning for those crises, you're having money socked away, and you're being responsible that way. But sometimes things just happen, So what do you have to do? You have to practice collaboration. You have to practice being on the same page and working together. Doing something like, painting a room together, right? Or agreeing on a decorating scheme together. They seem little, but they involve collaboration. They involve teamwork. And those are skills that get built and pay dividends later. You also each have to take care of yourselves. You have to watch your stress, your energy, your physical health, because when that's decreased on a normal day-to-day basis, you're going to have that much left in reserve to deal with the crises. And crises, by definition, need us to rise above our normal level. They need us to have more energy, to have more patience, to have more resolve, to have more ingenuity. So when we're tired, when we're stressed out, when we're in pain, maybe we've got chronic neck pain or back pain or something like that, these are all cases where we're not able to be our best selves. So pay attention to where you are and do whatever you need to do. Even if it's only a little bit, even if you only afford a little bit of time and a little bit of money right now, I guarantee you those are resources very well spent. All too often in our society, we focus on the near term, right? We've got to focus on making investments now for the long-term payout. And that doesn't mean we can't enjoy things now, but it means that we have to make sure that we dedicate the right amount of time, energy, money to taking care of ourselves. Because if we can't take care of ourselves properly, we're not going to have the reserves to be there for our partner, for our kids if we have kids, for our business if we have a business. So again, the three main things that lead to relationships failing: growing apart, power struggles, and crises. And we talked about a bunch of things that you can do to mitigate those, to make sure that you don't reach those situations. And if you do, you can handle them. And those involve things like doing things together, being present with each other, right? Prioritizing each other, having a focus on on the collaborative instead of the individual, working to fulfill each other's needs, right? Understanding, especially that behind every upset that your partner has is actually a fear. And when you appreciate that, then your whole attitude can change. Then when they're angry, then instead of feeling defensive, you can get curious and say, okay, what are they afraid of? How can I help protect them? Because that's what love is, right? And in terms of crises, taking care of yourself, practicing collaboration, even just little things in your lives right now, and taking care of yourselves in terms of energy, time, pain issues if you have them, and money, so that you have those resources to handle the crises when they come up. So I hope you found this useful. If you're interested in any of my coaching programs, just go to GuyArdito.com. If you're interested in coaching with me privately, either one-on-one or you and your partner and myself, again, you can find information about that at GuyArdito.com. That's GUYARDITO.com. So I was glad we had this time today. And go off, be good. Remember, life is an adventure. Live in love.